Hi, my name is Loni, and this is the Live Williston channel. Live stands for Local Issues, Voices, and Events, and this channel pertains to Williston, North Dakota. So one of the events that we have in our community coming up on June 9th, 2026, which is a Tuesday, is Election Day. So there are various positions that people are currently campaigning for. The city commission and mayoral races don't have primaries, so those will be decided that day. However, the state level positions are primary. The primary will be on June 9th, and then the final election, the general election, will be in November. So I want to encourage you, mark your calendars. If you are not sure what state district you live in, please check out the Secretary of State website that I have in the description. Also a website for the county on where to vote that day, depending on where you live. So that all said, I would like to share with you in this video just an introduction. This batch of videos, I'm delving into the mayoral candidates for the city of Williston. So this first video is an introduction to the candidates and the process that I use to gather information. And then I have a separate video, one for each of the 4 mayoral candidates, and then a final video that delves into some of the specific issues that I'm concerned about in our community based on what I've observed and learned over the years. And I'd like to share some of those with you, and if I have any insight into how the mayoral candidates might lean with some of those issues, I will share them with you as well. So that all said, the 4 mayoral candidates who are currently campaigning for the city of Williston are James Burvig. He's currently on the city commission. He's served 4 years in that capacity, and this is his first run for mayor. And we also have Corey Swint, who is currently the chair of the school board for District 7. And as I understand, if elected, he would step down from that position on the school board. And then we have Mason White, who previously campaigned, I believe, 2 years ago for one of the city commission seats. So he's not entirely new to campaigning, but this is his first bid for the mayoral position. And finally, Sean Ronis is a current member of the Williston Parks and Rec Board, and this is his first campaign for one of the positions on the city commission for the mayoral position. So that all said, I would now like to delve into a little bit of my process that I used, where I gathered information to compile these videos. So first, I just want to mention that over the last 8 years or so, I have attended a fair number of city commission meetings along with some budget hearings as well. In no way have I attended all of them, but I do feel like having attended quite a few of them over the last 8 years, not as much in the last couple years, but there were several years where I attended quite regularly. And I feel like I learned a little bit about some of the ins and outs in our community and how the city commission handles different things, the sorts of decisions that they have to make, and have had on occasion an opportunity to voice some questions or concerns to the city commission. So I also feel like I have a little bit of gauge on how they engage with constituents. So that, I would say, is one of the things that has fed into my perspectives on these candidates and some of the issues in our community. And then specifically for the mayoral race, I did attend one of the forums where 3 of the 4 candidates were present. And then there were 2 other forums that I listened online. And if you want to hear from the candidates themselves, there will be links to those forums in the video description for this video. I also visited the Facebook pages. Each of the candidates has a Facebook page specifically for their campaign for mayor. And some of those Facebook pages have more information than others, but that is an opportunity for community members to pose specific questions to the candidates. Some are more responsive than others to the public with their Facebook pages. But I would encourage you to visit those as well if you want to learn more about the candidates. Again, the links will be in the description of this video for those Facebook pages. And then finally, I did extend an invitation to all of the mayoral candidates to sit down with me for a one-on-one conversation. Now, I will say, ideally, I would have preferred to record those videos and post them online directly so that the public can hear from the candidates themselves. However, in posing that idea to all of the candidates, one of them didn't want to do that. But he did say he would sit down with me over coffee, and then they all knew that I wanted to record some videos to help inform voters. So I was willing to sit down with him over coffee instead of recording the interview to put online directly. And so I then made that option available to all of the candidates. And so 3 of the 4 mayoral candidates did sit down with me. I visited with each of them for over an hour. The 3 who sat down with me were James Burvig, Mason White, and Sean Ronis. Corey Swint chose to not sit down with me. However, in preparation, again, he knew I wanted to record some videos to put online regarding the mayoral race. And so in preparation for the video about him, I did verify some things with him via text message. I do simply want to mention that I did try to work with all of the candidates to find a time that would work for them to visit with me, but I don't have a large following or anything like that, so I can see where maybe, there wasn't a lot of obvious incentive for them to sit down with me, but I was very thankful that 3 of the 4 did. I did give them various options, meeting dates and times over the course of a couple weeks, and if those didn't work, I tried to show flexibility if there was another time that did work for them. That all said, again, found time to sit down with James Burvig, Mason White, and Sean Ronis, and then I verified some things with Corey Swint regarding his video. So now this is the introductory video to this batch of videos, and then I have one video on each of the 4 mayoral candidates, and the basic structure for those videos is just simply delving into some of the positives that I see about the candidate based on all of those areas of research that I mentioned previously, some positives and some negatives. And then the final video, I delve into some of the specific issues that I've observed over the years in our community. And if there were any noteworthy responses by the candidates regarding those issues, I share them with you in that final video. At times I might touch on them in the video that pertains to them, but I try to tackle and go into a little more depth on what those issues are in that final video. So that all said, I hope that this batch of videos is helpful for the public in making an informed decision on Election Day. So thank you for your time, and I encourage you to check out the other videos. Take care.